Okay, so this one is Psychology of Money. Again, I'm doing reviews as notes for myself. This was a quick book, actually, and more interesting than what I expected. But the main point I got from the book is that, or while I was reading it, actually, is that our fathers or parents are usually very aware of things, and especially specifically my father. Like he's a very street smart person, and many of the knowledge he passed on to me, or he keeps on constantly passing on to over me, it's present in the book. So I'm going to go over some of these uh, points in the chapters. Some of them were repeated. I think one of them, yeah. So the seduction of pessimism, I actually skipped it. I didn't like this chapter, so I didn't read it. Chapter 17. And chapter 16 is the same as chapter 1, so I actually didn't read it as well. And then chapter 19 is a summary. So if you ever need to go back to the book, just read chapter 19, and it's going to be a summary of everything in the book. But starting with the first chapter, which is No One's Crazy. Basically, what the book talks about in this chapter is that life situations vary. So views on money are going to vary as well. So basically, uh, I was born in a certain family with a certain culture, with a certain view on money. This view was passed on to me. This same view is not going to be the same for any other person. So basically, having empathy for how people see money and so on. Luck and risk is chapter 2. Luck is cousins with risk. Basically, risk is like what they refer to as being unlucky. But hard work is not always equals to rich, or laziness always equals to poor. The book also says this because, again, we have luck. Luck is a very important aspect of making money. That's what my father always told me. My father comes from a unlucky background, and he was able to make some money more than what he had back then. But basically, yeah. So hard work is not always going to mean that somebody's going to make a lot of money, and laziness does not always mean that it's the reason for someone being poor. Chapter 3, never enough. You need a goal. One thing more than enough can destroy you. So I need to set a goal to what I want to be in life, and one thing more than what I actually need, and this is going to be subjective to what my goals are, is going to be dangerous for myself. And there's something else. Yeah, no, that's actually for another chapter. So chapter 4, confounding compounding. I did not read this because in my religion, compounding is not permissible. Chapter 5, getting wealthy versus staying healthy. We prepared the worst. Be prepared for the worst, and allow room for error. And room for error apparently is 4 to 8% to be acceptable. I hope that's right. I might have to revise this later. Tails you win. Failing, that's chapter 6. Failing is okay. Variety. So basically, tails is a very lucky event after many tries. So that's what they refer to having a variety in your stock market, in your investments, basically, because one of them is going to make you lucky. The book talked about how many big investors, they invest like in hundreds of companies, and like one or two of them are the ones that actually make them a lot of money. Uh, so yeah. Freedom equals to time. So the chapter 7 says about freedom. Freedom is basically having time to do what you want, and you work to make money so that you have more time to do the things that you actually want. So freedom equals time, time equals money. Basically, that's the concept. Chapter 8, man in the car paradox. Material things is different than respect. Humility and kindness and empathy is actually what's going to bring you respect, not material things. People don't care what you have. The example they gave was, when you see a pretty car on the street, you don't care about the person who's driving it, you care about the car. So you don't really care about what the person has done in life to get that car, you just care about the car. So what really is going to bring you respect is being nice to people. Chapter 9, wealth is what you don't see. Be humble, don't show your wealth. That's basic. Just be humble, basically. You don't need to show off how much money you have. Chapter 10, save money. By saving money, what they mean is that if you desire less, connecting the previous chapters, you are going to have more money because you're going to be spending less money on things that you don't need. So even saving with 0% compounding is great as well. So even saving without compounding interest or whatever is also a great way to save money as well. Chapter 11, reasonable greater than rational. They mean that emotion is necessary and emotion is equal to passion. I think what they refer to is that you have to find a way that you like to make money. I'm not sure about that. I have to go back over it. I know emotion is necessary when you're making investments because one, intuition, and two, because you have to basically invest into things that you want to have in life. No, that was not point. It was about emotion equals to emotion is necessary. I think they mentioned very quickly that chapter, and then they mentioned on chapter 12 or somewhere in the chapters later that there's always a risk involved. So like you have to be you have to be capable of handling any mistakes that happen during your investments and losing money or something like that. It's either that or the previous thing I mentioned, which was uh, that you have to invest in what you like. Maybe it's a mix of both. But anyway, chapter 12 is called Surprised. It says that history is not a map of the future, and the older it is, the more general an analysis on it should be done. So what they refer to that is that if you want to look at the history of the market to invest in whatever it is, the history of the previous market is not always a good way to, or all the tips on investing in the market is not always good. You should basically analyze those tips in a more general way. Chapter 13, it's repeated concepts from all the previous chapters. I didn't read it as well. Chapter 14 is called You Will Change, which is compounding is also true to decisions and financial decisions. So this reminded me about the previous book I read, which was the Good to Great Flywheel, which basically your decisions compound over time, like the flywheel concept, where the more good decisions you make, the more exponentially your money is going to grow as well. Chapter 15, nothing is free. Everything has a price. Investment is long-term and might demotivate you. Yeah, I don't remember what this chapter talks about. Chapter 16 is the same as chapter 1. Chapter 17, I did not read it. I didn't like it. And then chapter 18, when you will believe anything. I also didn't read it because it connects to the previous chapter. And then chapter 19 is the summary of everything that the book talks about. And this would be it for this book. So again, Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel.